Now, the standoff in West Virginia, teachers vowing to stay out on strike after lawmakers nixed the raise they negotiated with the governor. West Virginia's teachers, the 48th lowest paid in the country, protesting.
Closed for business. Every public school in the state of West Virginia and 20,000 teachers all on strike tonight. Teachers in the state are among the lowest paid in the country, starting at just $33,000 a year.
West Virginia, I didn't think you could make things worse, but here we are almost a year later, and things are 10 times worse. Let's get into it. If you've watched my channel, you know that I make more joking content. Well, this is probably going to be the most serious video I've made in a hot minute. So, if that's not your cup of tea, please watch this anyways, because this is really important to me, and an important issue that a lot of people should know about. So, make sure you share this as well. If you guys are a foreign viewer, which I don't think any of you are, then you won't know, but you might. The last year, there was a teacher strike here in the state of West Virginia, and it was about a pay raise and making sure that classrooms and things were more accommodated so that teachers could actually want to come to West Virginia, but also stay in West Virginia. Anyway, after a 9-day teacher strike, they ended up getting their small raise that would also become a raise into this year, but this, however, came with a lot of strings attached, and I'm going to read you a lot of the big issues and why I think there's such a problem. So, here we go. In the United States, we have a Board of Educations per state, and ours got together like Monday and came up with the things that they unanimously opposed to in this bill, which is open enrollment with student transfers, which means anyone from anywhere can go to anywhere in any county, really not even in any county, but any part of the state, eliminating of the contracts continuing for administrators, charter schools, which I'll get into that in a bit, education savings account, payroll protection, which I don't know anything about, provisions addressing work stoppages, and non-severability clauses. So some things I really want to get into is the fact of the government overreach within this bill. Now, I'm more on the conservative side, even more libertarian, due to the fact that I would like extremely small government, which is why public school is a very, very hard subject for me. But if we're going to say that everyone has the right to go to school, we can't have charter schools because that's big bad. But before I even get into charter schools, I want to talk about one of the main issues that most people don't know about. The levy, each county has a levy, and most of the levies are around 80%, right? Well, we get to vote on whether or not we want to keep those. With what's written in this bill, your local BOE can just raise it to whatever number they want without even asking the people if they want to vote on it. They will just say, you are going to pay 100% property tax on your property so that you can pay this levy without saying, do you want to pay this? Well, let's decide if we want to pay this. Also, before I continue going into this, sorry about the mic issues. It hasn't been working right, so I just wanted to say that real quick. So, let's talk about charter schools. Basically, charter schools are publicly funded private schools. Now, what that means is you could have a private school like a Catholic school, for instance, because we have one in town. They could say, hey, we're private, we want to be charter. Yeah, I like that. So let's take your public money from your local public school. So then, when they go to that area, and they can go into that area without checking with the state BOE or your county BOE, and they can just say, we're going to be here now. We'll take your state money. Okay? Now, your money that was going to a non-secular private school, or is it secular, non-secular? I don't know. Anyways, a non-religious public school is now going to a religious public, in quotation, school, right? So if you're Muslim or you're atheist, you still have to pay for that religious school. Why? So public school funding is based on student population, and each student roughly gives the school $4,000. So they say this whole charter school thing is going to only affect 10% of the population. Okay, does that mean overall, per county, per 10 feet? So, and I think it's statewide, right? So what if an area like Huntington, Charleston, more metro areas, or even an area that's not rural, but it's not mega, would it affect those areas more? Would it be like 30% here, 10% here, etc., etc.? Or would it be each area is 10% affected? Because I have a feeling bigger areas are going to hit more effects than the smaller ones. So you know how they always talk about how there's this huge division in schools in places like New York, Detroit, inner city schools versus the more, private schools in New York, where you have the private schools in New York and the crappy schools in public schools in New York? Well, that's the kind of thing you're going to start seeing in West Virginia when the good students and the good teachers as well, the teachers who have masters or doctorates even, are going to want to go to those charter schools where they get more money, more benefits, etc., rather than staying in the public schools. So then you're going to have a thing where, well, our students are learning even less than they were in the first place because all the good teachers West Virginia had are now in the charter schools, and there aren't any safety precautions put in place to even prevent that from happening. So, to finish this whole thing up, I want to read a few questions and answers. Just really one that I find really important and a very good thing everyone should know. So this is Senator John Unger questioning the Council on Senate Bill 451, which is the Omnibus Education Bill. I'm not sure how you say it. Will teachers in charter schools be required to have an education degree? The answer? No. How about a college level degree? The answer? No. A high school diploma? The answer? No. Will they be required to have any level of education whatsoever? What was the answer? You guessed it. No. The impact of this bill on the state is $355 million. Let that sink in. This is going to cost the state $355 million. And that's already after they wanted to take $10 million from the Rainy Day Fund. The Rainy Day Fund. And to use it to help build a wall. I just can't even anymore. West Virginia, please, please, I'm pleading, I am imploring you, do not pass this bill. The worst part of this whole thing is, if in a year they decide charter schools don't work, or it's too costly to continue doing it the way they're doing it, if they take one part of it away, it all falls apart. None of the good stuff stays, none of the bad stuff stays if they change it once after passing. They even tried today, February 1st, to get rid of that part so that the rest of it could stay intact. But if something goes wrong, it is a bad time, and this bill is a retaliation on the teachers from last year, and the teachers vote to strike on Tuesday, and this video is going up on a Saturday, hopefully. Please, share this with your friends, with your family, anyone you know who will listen. This is the most serious video I've ever made. I am very worried about the future of this state and how my family is going to be affected by this bill. Please, share this with anyone who will listen. Thank you guys for watching.
Just hit a button, Morty. Give me a beat.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. You gotta get swifty. You gotta get swifty in here. It's time to get swifty. Uh-oh. You gotta get swifty.